with the Messy Craft Corner. Hello, you guys. Come on in and say hi. Today I was using a tool, and I need said tool for today's live, or tonight's live, and I'm not quite sure what I did with it. So I'm just looking, just hanging tight for a minute. Well, we could use this one, but it's not my favorite to use. Oh, here it is. Okay, got it. If you're getting here, say hello. Tell me that you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Hello, Miss Marilyn. Hello, hello. Okay, so the long anticipated live of whatever you want to say. People keep asking me how to do this, and so I'm going to show you guys. It is a YouTube video. We are live on YouTube. Welcome, Debbie. Hello, Karen. Hello, Miss Patty. So glad you guys are here joining me tonight. Okay. So a couple of things. First of all, I haven't done one of these in a hot minute. Okay. So hopefully I'm able to kind of, and we do it and it's all a thing. Second of all, please don't anyone send me any hateful messages about me taking apart golden books. I have like 8 of this, and I have like 4 of these, and I'm rescuing them from book sales and free bins and things like that. So that being said, I am about to take apart. I am a book destroyer in some ways, so just please no one get upset with me. I'm going to show you 2 ways to break it down. One, we're going to break it down and we're going to punch holes, creating a place for book binding rings to create a junk journal in that way. Second, I'm going to show you how to rebuild a spine. I'm going to show you how to rebuild a spine. And I think I'm going to do it without using the spine here. But taking it apart carefully is kind of key, especially the one you want to make into the one with a spine, okay? Sometimes it's a really good idea. Let's go a little lower. Sometimes it's a really good idea to, if you get a golden book and the cover is cracked, or you're new at it and you're not really sure how you want to proceed, one of the best things you can do here, guys, is to take the guts out and then slice the spine like I'm going to show you. Then you can punch holes. We're going to do the same step in both, but in the process, I'm going to show you how, if you wanted to use your golden book spine, how you can do that, okay? Now, this is something that coming up, I'm going to have an in-person event where this is all we're going to do all day is just junk journal using a little golden book. I'm providing the golden books and some of the goodies to use. So hopefully those plans get finalized tomorrow like they're supposed to, and I can start posting tickets. It's the last weekend in July. Okay, that being said, let's jump into it. So when you're purchasing your golden books, it doesn't matter, okay? The spines do not matter. Things that matter are the condition of the pages. Now, when I open this book, I doubt this book was even read. If it was, maybe only one time. It's in really good condition. I almost was going to give it to Alara, but Alara has Mickey and the Beanstalk, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to deconstruct it, and we're going to make this into a junk journal. And then also Noah's Ark. It has writing in the front, but it's not bad writing. Some things I'm really careful for when I'm doing a junk journal with these books is, are there a lot of torn pages? Hey, Liz Hughes. Are there a lot of ripped out pages? Are there a lot of things missing from it? In that case, if I have a second golden book, then I want to use the pictures and stuff for ephemera, and that works out great. Both of these books that I selected today are in really good condition. So that being said, let's talk about the value of a golden book. Golden books can value in different, they can value from $1 all the way up till I've seen like hundreds of dollars, okay? Hundreds of dollars have to be perfect condition, like this, minus the sticker on the front, with no broken down spines, and they have to be a first edition. The older, the better. So, original golden books, like the old golden books, up to a certain year, they used to put letters in the spine. Now, you can't go pulling back really super hard, but if you pull just enough, you'd be able to see a little letter underneath the back cover in the lower corner. Anybody have a golden book that has a letter? Letter A is the first edition, B is the second or first printing, B is the second printing, C third, all the way up to, I believe it was either G or H that they went up to. Okay, I could be wrong. I'm not a golden book expert. I didn't study golden books in school or anything like that. So you're getting the knowledge that I have from what I've heard from other people. So their knowledge could also be wrong. Golden books don't have to have the letters to be valuable. Some are desired collectibles. There's a book that's called We Are Kindergarten. That's a desired book in really good condition, can bring a good price at auction. Those books that I have that are my personal collection, I don't junk journal with. They're a collection that I have that hopefully one day my grandchildren will love and enjoy, or maybe they'll junk journal with. I'm going to tell them, if you junk journal with grandma's books, I am not going to be angry with you. That is me, okay? So anybody junk journal with golden books that are in the comments right now? Anybody at all? Talk to me. Talk to me, Goose. Anybody do golden book junk journaling, or is this like a totally new experience for you guys and you're eager to learn? Okay, that being said, on the back side of your golden books, if you're blessed enough, you can see the staples. Golden books are put together with staples and 2 signatures. Not even joking. So every golden book that I do will have 2 signatures. If it goes to 3 signatures, what I need to be really careful of with the 3 signatures is, what am I putting in that 3rd signature? You have with rings. Awesome. So I think you've seen me do it with rings before. And for the sake of having it into a video over here on YouTube, that's what we're going to do. Okay. So you need an X-Acto knife. And what you're going to do is you're going to find those staples and you're going to pull them, is what you're going to do. So you can do that by just kind of, keep your fingers out of the way, you guys. Listen, I laid down for a hot second and I fell asleep a little bit, and that's why I didn't come on here at 7. All right, so you want to find that, and you want to be really careful. I'm like very nervous to do it because I'm afraid I'm going to get my finger. All right, so once you kind of like slice where that, I also am afraid I'm going to break my blade on my new tool. Maybe I use my old tool. First of all, it's not as sharp. I just had it. Where did I put it, you guys? I literally had it a second ago. You can also use a screwdriver. Those also do work. The picky tools with the pointies on the end, those also work. I literally did just have another X-Acto knife because I was like, oh, I'll use this, and then I was like, no, this one's my favorite. Okay, well, maybe not. Let's see here. All you really have to do is get a hold of that staple. And you want to try to do as little damage to that golden tape as you can. All right, as little damage. So if you can find it, you can pop it upwards. And like I said, these books are in good condition. If these books were not such hot shape, you guys, that would be okay, because they're going to come apart easier. But these ones were taken really good care of. Hang on a second. Take the glue off my pokey tool here, and we'll be able to get a hold of it better. All right, so I'm just finding that staple. Okay, there we go. And once I have it, I'm pushing upwards. Hi, Debbie Fritz. Just pull them up, you guys. That's what you got to do. All right, now, where's that other one I had? So if you can see on this one, that I did do damage just like this one to it, but that's okay, because in both of these books, I'm going to use the golden book spine to create a bookmarker so that it'll go along with the book. So just find those. Okay, and pop them up. You're going to rip it some, so don't be worried about that too much. Sometimes you have to worry a little more about like how much you rip it. Or you don't want to also like jab yourself, especially with staples in the books that are older that maybe got wet, you guys. The ones that maybe got wet, those could be rusty, and you really don't want to. Make sure your tetanus shots are up to date if you're a junk journaler. Let me just say it that way. Okay, so once you have those prongs pointed upward, you can start to kind of pop this apart. And it should come apart pretty easily because, look at that. Yay! Go me. Because it's not an older book, so it hasn't gotten wet. It's not rusty. It's not sticky. It's coming apart pretty easily. Then you just want to start grabbing those signatures and lift them straight up off the staples. Do as little damage to those as you can. And then keep them in order, because the last thing you want to do is put a junk journal back together and the order of it be all crazy on you. So this is the second signature. And here comes the first signature. So every golden book has 2 signatures. You won't ever find one with 3. Hello. Look what we got. Mickey and the Beanstalk.
Oh.
I got like 4 of these. And then we're also going to do one Noah's Ark.
Oh.
And I've got a bunch of these. So I'm very happy to do one that's Bible-based. The voice you hear in the background, if you are not familiar with, that's my husband Larry. Because some of you are new to me here on this channel. All right, so...
Yeah, I pop in now and then and say hi.
Occasionally. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that staple out of the spine. Okay, so very cautiously. Sometimes pressing on it will help. Sometimes that just bends the little knobbies over. Okay. Yep, that's his name. You love the Noah's Ark one? Okay, ouch. Like I said, make sure your tetanus shot is up to date. Okay, sometimes it takes a little more force than what you want to give it. So get yourself a pair of these. Larry gave me these. I really like these. They're pliers, and they're smaller. They're not huge man-shaped pliers. But look at the staples they put in these bad boys. They really get the job done, that I will say. Just put that up in there for right now. All right, that's the one. Here comes the other. And I'm telling you, sometimes they're tricky to get out, and sometimes they pop right out. It's really a matter of what you know what it is I'm trying to be extra careful, and I think I just need to manhandle it like I normally would and not worry about it. There's the other staple. So now my staples are out and this book is ready to go. So you can do 2 things here. You can cut them off and create that spine, okay? Or you can keep the original spine. Some people like to do that because it's kind of a novelty thing. And that's what you see laying here. You see some chipboard laying here that we would keep this original spine. So in order to do that, you'd have to create something to keep the shape of this, okay? Which then in gluing it, you can repair this. You can glue things down or whatever you need to do. Some people like to just cover it with fabric, and that's okay too. So you need the size of the book that it is. So the book is 7 7/8. 7 7/8, Jimmy, though. Come on, don't make a mistake. The ladies are watching you. Ooh, almost lost my glue bottle off the other side there, you guys. And this is actually just the back side of a scrapbook paper pad. Can you see it? Christmas 2019. It was a paper pad. So, probably Hobby Lobby. I think they date theirs. All right. And then you just want, how wide do you want your spine to be? So I am going to cut a spine a different size, but typically this will come out to 1 1/4. So then I cut it to 1 1/8, and that just gives us the space that we need. Oh, Debbie Fritz, you just needed a hello and how are you? Oh, you're thanking him for the all. The all was from me, the spoon was from him. So 1 1/4 is going to give you the same amount here. So 1 1/8 is going to give you 1/8 of an inch for your fold. So you would just cut this to 1 1/8, and then you would glue it into place like so. And that's going to stabilize this. Is everybody following me? That's going to stabilize this for the book. But because we're going to do it with, we're going to do something different. I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to create a 2-inch spine. Okay, so a 2-inch spine is going to give me plenty of room, plenty of room for us to add 2 signatures, which we're not going to add today. We're just having a discussion about the breaking down of the book and all of that. Okay, and how to do it. Y'all are with me. Okay, so 2 inches is what I did. That's an inch per signature, an inch per signature, okay, which is a good thing to have. Okay, so what we're going to do is set this to the side, and we're going to set this and this to the side, and we're going to do the exact same thing to the Noah's Ark book. Okay, and let's see, I think the Noah's Ark book, I'm going to do the rings. Okay, and we're gonna try something. Who wants to try? Who's in the mood for something just a little different, just a little different? Because I've never done this before, but I always wanted to try it. Okay, see how we have this bendy spot? I always wanted to put 3 rings out on the golden part, which means to do that, all I would have to do is, instead of slicing the spine away from this, we would just slice straight down the middle where this is, and right here and right here, and then we could do it, and it would still be on the ring, so it would still spin, but we would have this bendy effect on the cover. You guys, you in the mood? Are you feeling daring? Who's feeling with me? Who's feeling? Whoop whoop, let's do it. Yes, right? Okay, so I also pulled this fabric because to put a spine in like the first one, you're going to need some fabric. Okay, so the fabric you can see is slightly bigger, and because it was Mickey and the Beanstalk, I thought this fabric matches the cover perfectly. But when I pulled it, I was thinking, oh, I need something for the Noah's Ark book as well, just in case. Well, look, this would also match the Noah's Ark book rather well, I think. So but you can use whatever. You can use some lace, you can use fabric, you can use paper to do it. That is also acceptable, but I got to be honest with you. I have not done a fabric one in quite a hot second, so y'all say a little prayer for me. All right. Now this one seems like it's going to come up a little easier. Okay. So see how I'm able to do that right on here, right on the camera. Some of it is I can't see because I was sleeping. But now I'm wide awake, and Larry will be going to bed soon, so I'll have to be a little, we won't be able to like throw a party down here or anything, but we'll be able to get it done. So see how those popped up a little easier? Like I said, I think the Mickey and the Beanstalk one was like brand new. I really do. So who's wanting to make a little golden book? Who's wanting to do one? Also, anybody planning on coming to the in-person event in July to make one with me? Because I'll be making one there. All right, same goes here. Now, sometimes they come apart easy, and sometimes they come apart a little trickier. Sometimes you got to stick a butter knife or something in there to kind of pop it off. Okay, this one is being a little more stubborn at the come on, you can do it, at the staples than the other one was, but the other one was being a little more difficult. Oh, guys. I just took the blade and I just sliced down by there, because sometimes you have to do that. Whatever you got to do to get it apart sometimes, right? But if we're going to punch holes, in the little golden books part anyways, that's where my hole is going to go. Down here is where my hole is going to go. So if that makes sense. Hopefully I'm making sense and I'm not really speaking Italian today, because Italian is not the language that I speak. Ooh, let's not cut the finger, Jimmy Little. Ladies don't want to see that today. Not today, not today. So really all I'm doing is trying to get something up underneath that staple. I swear, some of the older staples, you don't think you could get the time off of work? I'm sorry, Karen. Yeah, no blood. All right, here we go. Urgh. Okay, tell me this. Where do y'all live? Okay, these staples were definitely longer than that first book. See that? I definitely think they were longer. Okay, now that my book is... Oh, you know what? I didn't take the book apart. Okay, now, why is that sticking? Because there's glue in here. I've not ever experienced that before, you guys, where the signatures were glued into the spine as well. That's the first time I ever experienced that. Okay, here's something else I've not ever experienced. See the little one? Elizabeth Hughes is in New Jersey. Karen's in Florida. And this one is a 2. That's signature 1, signature 2. So I guess when they were putting them together at the bookmaking factory, they could get it done. All right, so because we're going to do the rings, these actually will be easy for creating the spine. The one that's going to be a little more tricky is the Mickey one, because we're going to cut this off, meaning that our story, we're going to have to trim these back. Okay, so I just like to look through and make sure most of the time I'm given enough room where the words are that it's okay, that I'm not cutting off part of the story. Part of doing this is sort of a book restoration in some ways, because I want you to still be able to read the story. I still want you to be able to read all about Mickey and his magic beanstalk, okay? Oh, and the beanstalk, sorry. I always thought it was his magic beanstalk. Okay, so I still want you to be able to read about the story within. Oh, they only have one bean. Poor Mickey. Oh, and he drops it down the hole. Oh, no, he went and bought magic beans. But anyways, if I go and the words are out far and I cut it, okay, so like right here, I'm probably, when I cut it, I'm going to cut off the tips of his fingers. So that just makes me realize when I do this page, I need to add something that's going to kind of cover that up. Maybe a tab, maybe some fabric, maybe some lace. It all depends, okay? So I'm always like, I'm mindful of that. I want to take a look at that, because look at, we do not want to cut off his head. We're going to take off part of his hat, but not his head. And this is the one that I want to do. We're going to recreate a spine is what we're going to do. Okay. So in order to do that, all right, let's do the Noah's Ark one first, because that'll be our easier one to discuss and do. All right, so in order to make this where we're going to put holes in the spine, you need a hole puncher, okay, and you need an X-Acto knife and a ruler. So you don't want to have a crooked cut. So right down the center, we're going to do it. Right down the center of the spine, we're just going to go ahead and use our X-Acto knife, and we're going to cut right through that. It should slice through relatively easy. Make sure before you pull it away that you have in fact cut all the way through, because you don't want to not have it cut through, right guys? Okay, so there we go. Now take a look at this. This one, I went pretty close up to the spine. This one, I did not. So see how it has a little bit of gummy stuff there? We're going to trim that off too. So get your gummy stuff off if it has any gummy. But take it right up to the edge of the book, okay? And that's that gluey part. Glue and paper is all it should be. Okay? All right. That's trash. Jimmy, don't keep that stuff. All right, then we're going to put holes. All right, so where do you want your holes? That's the second question. Well, if you're doing 3, you want to kind of measure it out. I'm just going to do 2, and I'm going to go right where those staples were, okay? And I'm going to punch holes in both places where those staples were, and I don't know where my... Whoops. Somewhere I have... Oh, they're in the other room. I'm going to grab them really, really quick. Eyelets. And am I going to set eyelets? Let's see here. Here are these are book rings. You could pick these up at Staples, any place where you buy office supplies. Walmart should carry them. They do get a little sticky sometimes. So you want to make sure that they're opening and closing okay. And that you have 2 exactly the same size. So give me 1 second, you guys. All right, here we go. Back again. So I want to set eyelets in this. And I'm also going to go ahead and tell you that in this, we are going to need to keep the story in order, but we need to cut it apart. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut it with the fruit knife, okay? So who's with me? Y'all like my noises? I'm starting to get my second wind now. All right. This is a We Are Memory Keepers hole punch and eyelet setter. And these are, hang on, 3/16 eyelets, okay? My little divider came out, and I kind of have it's just doing whatever it wants to now, you guys. So decide what color you want. And you know what? I want gold. And you need 4 of them. 2 for the front cover, 2 for the back cover. Now, these books that you do with a book ring are not meant for toddlers to get their hands on and turn the pages and tear them. If you are concerned about that, there's a couple of things that you can do. Let's talk about that for a second. You can put washi tape on both sides of your paper. That'll reinforce it for strength. You can add paper, some pretty decorative paper, along the edge, glue it down as well. However, when you get to, well, this one won't be a problem because there is that white space. The Mickey one, it's going to be a little more tricky. Mickey will be tricky because there's no white space, okay? So see how there's that space in between there? This is kind of like the perfect book to sort of show you that. So you would just need some scrap paper. Go to your scrap paper bin. Find something really cool, okay? Like, what do I got? Scrap paper? I don't know. That's Raquel's shower gift. Pick out something kind of cool, right? Whatever you really want to. Come on, I just need something to show the ladies. Just need to show the ladies. Here we go. Alright, so here's some of this I could use. Oh my. That was in my scrap bin. I'm not sure why. Okay, and then you just need the length of the paper, right? So the length of the paper was 7 and 7/8. Okay, so 7 7/8, and then just cut 2 inches. All right, 2 inches. And then take your score tool and score it at 1 inch. All right. Actually, this is probably going to be way too big. Yeah, I should have did 1 inch and scored it at 1/2 inch because when we wrap it around, yeah, let's do that. So do 1 inch right? Score it at 1/2 inch. And then what you'll do is you'll take this on your paper and you'll wrap it around the edge just like so. All right? Just like so. And then you'll punch your holes right through all of it. Okay? And when you punch your holes right through all of that, it's going to be like a reinforcer. So let me show you exactly what we're talking about. All right. So I'm going with my 3/16 inch hole punch. And we're coming down on this, on the bendy spine. Oh, I'm still nervous, you guys, because I never did one of these kind before. Well, I did one, but I've always cut off this edge, this like flippy edge. All right, so once you have your holes punched, you can take your eyelet. I like using the gold eyelets because we're doing it on, you know, a golden book. So let's just go ahead and then set the eyelet. All right, you don't have to wait until you have some pretty paper decorating the other side, because maybe we're not maybe we're not putting pretty paper on there. All right, and then set this eyelet. Now our eyelets are set. Whoops, that one did not set right. I hate when that happens. It's because I twist my hand sometimes. Let's see if I can try a reset. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. All right, so then it's in there. Then these rings fit through your eyelets. Lots of room. And then you've got some reinforcement there, okay? So do the same thing on the opposite side. Now, I don't know if you saw what I did, but I took my hole punch and I went in from this direction as far in as it would go. And I knew it was going to go where the staple was. Doing the same thing on this end, as far in as it will go, and punch. All right, that's giving me about 1 inch, I think. Yeah, it goes in 1 inch, which is, for the ring binders, is fine, right? Okay. Did I lose anybody yet? Have I confused anybody yet? Or are we all good? Because it is not my intent to confuse anyone. So you don't need a big Bertha to do this one. You just need an eyelet setter. And you could kick it old school, you guys. You know what I'm talking about? Where you had like the little thing and you put it and you had the hammer and it set the eyelet. Whatever way you set an eyelet, you just go right ahead. Now, do you have to set an eyelet? No. You actually can just, I've done it lots of times where I've just done it and not had an eyelet set in there. But it does kind of dress that up a little bit. That's what happened to me. I see there that you're saying you just woke up from a nap. Absolutely, me too. All right, so I'm going to put these rings on here. Now, these rings here are, what are these? These are 2-inch rings. Now, I know somebody's going to ask, why 2-inch? Why not 1 inch? Why not 1.5 inches? Well, because we're going to put other stuff in here. Plus, we want to be able to turn the pages. So, now what I was talking about is your Noah's Ark papers. You need to cut these. But before we do, I'm going to cut several of these strips at 1 inch. And we're scoring them at 1/2 inch. And this was just paper that was in my scrap bin. And it's just, all we're using it for is to reinforce the old paper that is, okay? Hey, Marty. So if you guys are just getting here, you missed in the very beginning of this, and the replays will be available. We broke down the spines, and I just showed how we're going to create this kind of flip book here, and then we're going to also build a spine on the other one. So that's 4. 4 is enough for right now. And then you'll just know that the rest of them, I'm going to do the exact same thing with these. So there's this one, and then I had one that was, here, we'll just cut this down to 1 inch. Tearing my, why is that tearing my paper? Hello. What do you want to do that for? What did I do to you? Nothing. Hello. Anybody else talk to their office supplies? Hello, Dolores Rumble. Hello, hello. Some of y'all are getting here a little bit after us breaking down the spine, but that's okay. If you wait until, it takes me about, you're going to have to wait about 2 hours for it to upload. But once it's loaded here on YouTube, it'll be here. Okay, so here's our thing. Now, we can take the ruler and we can slice it, or we can put it onto our cutter and we can slice it. So what you want to make sure, though, is that you're getting it right on that fold line, you guys, to cut them. This is a new blade, too. I don't know why it's doing that. So there's the first half of the book. Noah's Ark is the book that we're doing. Oh, am I glad I checked that real quick before I started cutting. And here comes the second part of the book. Okay. So there we go. There's the pages to our Noah's Ark book. So then what we're going to do is to create a reinforcement. This is one way you can do it. You can use washi tape. You can use paper. You can use fabric if you really, really want to. So I just add some glue, and this is Neutral pH Adhesive by Linco or Lineco, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not sure how the company pronounces it. And then you just want to put this into the piece like so. And you do have a little bit of time when messing with it, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue this part down, and that then gives us the reinforcement that we need for our book pages. So tell me, when you were growing up, what was your favorite, even if you're watching on the replay, what was your favorite little golden book? And the reason I want to reinforce these, and I have not done it in the past, is because I opted to keep the golden spine. I opted to keep that. So, therefore, we're going to have a little bit of wiggle room at the thing. And last thing I want is for these to tear, to rip, to do any of those things. So, this book belonged to Billy Mitko. Billy Mitko, if you are watching and you would like to have your childhood book back after I'm done with it, you should send me a private message, because otherwise it goes up for sale. Okay, so see how it gave me just enough because this is white. Now, if this wasn't white, what would I do? Henny Penny, Mary Poppins. Oh, Nurse Nancy. I have that one. I have Nurse Nancy. No joking. Nurse Nancy, I got in a, we went to the flea market, my daughter and I bought a whole crate full of little golden books. And in that crate was this Nurse Nancy. Now, the Band-Aids aren't there. That is actually a very valuable book, and it is in my personal collection. Chicken Little. Is Chicken Little and Henny Penny the same book? I'm just curious. So, and then this kind of goes along with it. I don't know. Maybe Noah was wanting to be, Mrs. Noah was wanting to be a farmhouse lady after this was all done, with all these farm animals and all the wild animals. So, I often ask myself, what would I do if someone contacted me and said that was their name and it was most likely their golden book growing up, and could they have it? I often replay that or play that scenario in my head. What would you guys do? Tell me in the comments. What would you do if you had a golden book and you were me, you were live, and you just said that? Contact me. Honestly, I would be very happy to reunite people back with their books, as long as they were willing to pay me for the work and the supplies that I put into doing it, because there's a lot of work and stuff goes into these, you guys. Okay. So we're just, if you're just joining us, we're creating reinforcements on the pages, because when you cut away the spine like I did in this book, you're not going to have signatures. It does enhance it, doesn't it? You'd give it to them? Oh, yeah. I probably would too. You know, I'll have supplies and stuff in it, but quite honestly, I would not overcharge, but I would be like, I just need to be recouped for my supplies. I don't even care about my time. That'd just be fun to meet somebody whose book it was when they were little and they got to read it and stuff. growing up. That'd be cool. I don't, anybody ever comes across any little golden books that say Jimmy Lou McCoy on it? Those were me. McCoy was my maiden name. So there we go. Okay, I have one more here, you guys. And then I'll decide how many more I need to cut. And I'm not going to hold you captive while I do that part. But you guys, has anyone ever done reinforcements like this? I know I get asked a lot over on my Facebook page when I would do a golden book like this. Well, what do you do if the page tears? Well, quite honestly, they're not really meant for little kids to play with after we turn them into junk journals. But you do want to take as much. You can also buy those little holes. You know what I mean? The reinforcement holes. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would need 6 more of these to do exactly what I did right there. So then what you want to do is you want to take your book, one of the covers, because we're going to add stuff to this book. We're just not going to add it tonight. You would take this and you want to line it up with your page, right? So line it up top and bottom, front to spine, okay? Just like so. It's going to stick out a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay if it sticks out a little bit back there. Okay, and then you just want to either take a pencil or something. Geez, my pencil is like no point. I sharpened these too not that long ago. That's how much I use a pencil in this room. A lot. Okay, and then you can just take this one because it's a We Are Memory Keepers tool. These work out really good for punching through several at one time. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to do that. Just line it up and punch the hole. Whoops, wrong size. Line it up. Punch the hole. Turn it around this way and do the same thing this direction. And now where I've punched those holes, you guys, where I've punched the holes is now reinforced because of the paper. Okay, now we can put these on the ring, just like so. Just like so. And then it's going to go into the whole effect of, just like any other junk journal, what kind of things do you want to put in it? Newspapers? Do you want to put in, you know, I had some, we did that faith journal. I still have some papers from that. Those would do well in a book like this. I'm going to close these so you can kind of see what's happening. So here's our book, right? Here's our pages I need to do the reinforcements to yet. Here's my paper for that, okay? You can put scrapbook paper in it. On a book like this with the rings, what I would do is not scrapbook paper. Hold on, Jimmy Lou's back itches. Good thing I have a ruler in here. What was I saying? I would not put scrapbook paper, but I would put cardstock, because then you can put heavier things on it, pockets and things like that. And that's what we're going to do. I actually am going to get us some, not today, but some coordinating cardstock in colors that I see on the pages here. Noah's blue, what are they called? His, you know, up here he's wearing a pelt. So blue is definitely going to be a color that I want to use as a solid cardstock color. Browns, there's a lot of browns happening. Brown would also be acceptable. Yellow will definitely pull out his loincloth. Gray, there's gray in some of their beards. And then here you have the animals that are coming 2 by 2. Look at all the colors. We can use green, we can use orange, we can use blue. There's red in her. Red would really enhance. So don't be afraid to get a little colorful with what you stick in here. Here's all the animals on the ark, in their pens. Green, if you have any scrapbook paper that has trees on it, that would be really pretty as well. So there's a lot that you can really be thinking on doing that with. Dictionary page, maybe so, but you may want to consider like reinforcing that just because it's so delicate and it's so fine. Printables, maybe I pulled this out. This is not a printable that I'm going to use, but printables would definitely, I think this is one of Cynthia's printables. You could use printables in your book because you can cut them down and you can do. Yeah, like a rain. Oh, yes. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even get, oh my goodness, Debbie, I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea. A rainbow of colors. Wait, I need to make a note. Rainbow of, of colors. Now, the colors in this book are a little muted, but that's because of the error. Let's see, if we get to the back here, there's our rainbow. Perfect. Perfect. I even have, oh gosh, the flood of ideas that I just got. Rainbow of colors, definitely going into this book. So, I'm actually now really excited to continue on in this book, but I wanted to show you how to break that down and to add that. Okay, going on to the Mickey book with the spine here and the piece, this is not the piece we cut, the piece of chipboard that we cut to create the spine. Okay, so a couple of things. We can cut it down the center like we did before, and I would have to reinforce this part here, but that's okay. Like I could manage, like we could do that would be all right, because we're going to cover it with some fabric anyways, so we could do it, and then we're going to get the full effect of the entire book, and we won't lose any in our signature. The signatures will be good for the size that the book is. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Talk to me. Tell me what you're thinking. Just like so. It's what it was it was buffalo plaid. So it was black and gray with some white. Keep going with reinforcements. I could have kept going with the reinforcements. All right. I'm not sure. Now I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure. But we're going to use this fabric here. If you remember, I made a book the other day using this. Is it getting, like, is the color in here okay of the video? Because I'm a little worried about the color. Okay. Come on, Jimmy Lou, just do it. You know you want to. You know you want to, girl. This is my spine piece. I'm going to cut this down to 7 7/8 is what that was. I thought I had more of that somewhere. They might have stuck it somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh, what did I do there? Well, now we're getting the scissors out. The color is good. Go for it. Okay, go for it. Oh, Jimmy Lou's a little nervous about doing it, though. I gotta tell you. Okay, so here's this. So what I want to do is I want to cut 1 inch and 1 inch for each side. So that's going to give us kind of a reinforcement. So here's 1 inch. And again, I've not done this, so wish me luck. And 1 inch. There's always fun stuff you can do. Always things to try. Come up with something new. That's when your video will go viral and all the ladies will love you. Okay, oh, geez. Did it again. Did it again, Jimmy Lou. Well, just trim it up. Just trim it. So if you have a piece where you missed a little bit on the cutting, that's okay. Just trim it. Okay. So we're going to be using some Fabri-Tac. So just keep in mind, if you're using Fabri-Tac is stinky, but it does give the best hold for what you have going on. Now you could do this with fabric. You could do this with paper as well. So entirely up to you, however you want to do it. Okay. All right. So here's my two like pieces. These pieces are going to just, what they're going to do is they're going to reinforce this here. Okay. And we're going to cover it with fabric anyways, because we're going to cut this right down the middle, just like we did before on the other one. Yeah, because we're creating a spine. I was like, wait a second. No, we're not. Yes, we are. If I was doing this and I wanted to keep that golden spine, this is what I would do. I'd cut this, put a reinforcement there, fold this up, and let it sit glued, okay? So that way, that's how you do that. That's not how we're doing this spine. We're creating our own because I want a nice big 2-inch spine so we can add lots of goodies inside of it. So we're just taking a blade. Oh, that went rather well. Don't speak too soon. The back could give you a hard time to Jimmy Lou. It sure could. Here we go. All right. Anybody ready for bed yet? And I'm keeping you here. Are we good? Now, I lost the cap to this, so I'm going to put this, I'm not sure. It's on the table here somewhere. I just don't want to jab myself. Okay, so we have this as a reinforcement here. And this one as a reinforcement here, just like so. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to glue that in place, because when we do the spine, we're wrapping the spine in this fabric, but then we're also going to take a piece of it on the inside and take it straight across, and it's going to cover all of that anyways. So keep that in mind. All right, let me just see where my fabric scissors are. And we're going to glue this down. Now, this is bookbinding glue, so this should work out pretty good. Hold on a second. I need to stick it with a pin because it gunked up on me, you guys. That was rather quickly, too. I'm not sure how this metal tip will fare when it gets cold. All right, so we're going to give this a good bit because we want this to last forever and ever and ever, and we don't want someone to have to replace what you did. So fill it up good. Grab your spoon. Peel the glue off of it from earlier. This is what I'm talking about, how the glue peels off these spoons so easy. Easy peasy. And then we're just going to spread this around. Okay, it's okay if it oozes out. It dries clear, so we're good. All right, and it's a bookbinding glue, so we're good. And then we're placing it right on the book page, the book cover, right over top of that bendy part to make it bend no more. Now it shall bend no more. Okay, it's not going to matter very much because we're gonna wrap fabric around the front here. Okay, this spine is going to have fabric that's going to come right around the front, and it's going to cover this golden book piece up. But off to the side over here, I have a piece here that we can use, and we can create the bookmark that we want for this one. Well, this one we can. The other one I don't have an extra one for, so one will just go without. All right, just make sure it lines up nice on the edge and press it down. And then let's do it to this one for the back cover as well. And Chris Hunter recommended these Sugar Bell bottles. They're for icing. And the tip is very precise. It's a very good precision tip. I'm just, it gets cold in here in the wintertime, and I have to put a sock on my stuff anyways. So I just worry about that. But, you never can tell. All right, so we're lining this up, and we're pressing that on there. So what I want to try to do is when I add the fabric to the inside, I'm going to come out pretty far over here. I don't want to cover this. I want to kind of let that alone. Even if we end up putting a pocket here, I still want you to be able to read that this little golden book belongs to. It's got no name on there, so it's good. Now, this is, look, good and sturdy. It's not bending. where we don't want it to bend, and we're good. This side I'm going to have to be a little more cautious because when I bring the fabric over, I'm going to need it to like stick there, but I still want to be able to read how many little golden books. It's either that or cover it all with fabric and just make it really, really cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to cut a piece of our fabric. Let me see, one end of this had some holes in it. There we go. All right, so here's our fabric piece. You want it to be able to go over your spine on both sides here and here. Okay. And still have room in the middle. So what you want to do is you want to get this glued down first. Okay. And then we'll be adding, we're going to figure out where on this book, how far over do we want it to come? I don't really want it to cover Mickey too far. So that looks like a good spot right about there to go. And then this is going to go here. And then we got the back side. We're going to lose some of the luster of the book on the back side, but that's okay. So you want it to go over at least a good inch. Okay. So that's where we're going to cut it straight up through there. My scissor is in the groove of the line of my book, or of my cutter there. That worked out good. All right, now let's get this covered with some Fabri-Tac. And I'm going to turn my Fabri-Tac upside down here in this cradle because we're just it's going to cause me an issue if I don't. All right. Get some Fabri-Tac on here and then spread it around. Now, you don't want it to be overflowing because if you put too much on and it's really, really thick, it's going to poke out through that fabric. And then you could have some trouble. Okay, so keep that in mind. You want it to be just enough to cover it that it's going to hold it for a long, long time, but not too much that it's going to seep through the fabric and cause you a lot of trouble. Make sure all of your space has glue on it so that it doesn't lift up later on in the book's life. Okay, oop. And we're going to go right here and drop that down, just like so. Let's flip this over. Press it in place. Press it in place. Anybody have any questions? Are we doing good? Is Jimmy Lou doing good? Now, make sure that you're being careful. Now, we have these reinforcers on here, so I know exactly where I'm going. But you want to be careful because I've done this already where I accidentally glued the back cover on the front and the front cover on the back. So be cautious of that. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at this. How far over is that going to come? Well, it's going to cover up Big Bird. But I mean, it is what it is, because otherwise we're not going to have enough room. I think we could probably trim this up a real little bit. I'm doing good. The bottle at 5 a.m. is going to come fast. I'm sorry. I'll hurry up. I should have got on when I was supposed to. I'm really sorry. The Sugar Bell bottle I got off of Amazon is where mine came from. I'm pretty sure that's where Chris Hunter gets hers from too. I can get a link for you all and put it over on my Facebook page so that you can go grab some. I bought a set of 2 just so I can have one in this room and one in the other room. So we're going to trim this down just a bit. Keep it straight, Jimmy Lou, or it's going to be crooked. Okay. All right, so there we go. Now, there is a little trick to this because you don't want your glue to come out too far. And that is to make a little pencil mark on the inside right here. And then right down here. And then when you're putting the glue on, you don't want to... I did too. Copycat. Yeah, I know, right? It was a good recommendation. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put some glue right here. Now I'm watching on my part how far out I need for this glue to go. Now if I get more on it than it should have, it's okay, because it dries clear. You just gotta be careful you don't accidentally glue it down to something. All right, so there's our piece, and now we're leaving a little bit of room for the spine to give it to open and close. Otherwise, you're gonna have nothing but woes and trouble and woes. All right, and then when we get over to the other side, we're gonna fold this down. This is gonna get folded down and glued in place before we put the piece over the center, just so that way. Oh, sorry guys. Oh good, I did good there. I did good. Yay! Go me. All right, we're gonna do the same thing for the front side, and then look, we got this beautiful fabric kind of spine. All right, so we're gonna be a little cautious here and make sure that I'm not covering up too much of Mickey. And we're gonna do the same thing. Just use that pencil and add a little mark here and here. And those will get covered over. You can erase them if you really feel you have to. And then we're going to do our glue on our outside. And if you have to go back and add a little glue to it later on, you can also do that. And then just spread it. The reason I spread it with a spoon, I'm like the spoon lady, is to keep it from making those funny lines, like the glue lines. And then make sure that this is all lined up nice and straight across there. Okay, just like so. All right, now we're going to flip this over here. Press this down there. And then, you know, we're going to add trim work. We're going to do all kinds of really cool things. In fact, I have this I had some black trim, I'm not sure, here, that I think will look really good along the edges here, that I think we're going to add. What do you guys think of that? So we're covering up some of Mickey, but you can still get the idea that he's climbing up that beanstalk. Do you guys like the black? Tell me in the comments. All right, flip this back over. Now we're going to fold this down. And then when we cover this up on the inside, we're going to make sure that this is going up. That this is going up almost to the top up here. So that way it holds this in place as well. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to add a line of glue here. Don't get it in your crack. We're going to do it down here too, because you don't want to glue your cover to your cover, right? You don't want to do that. A little bit of spreading it there. A little spreading down here. Oops, it just went down in my crack, you guys. It's all right. It's not there now, but I'll have glue on my hands, I'm sure. And then just pull this over nice and tight and press it down. Nice and tight. I'll still be picking glue off my fingers. One of the things, unless you work with gloves, it's just one of those things that it's gonna be a problem. You're gonna run into that. Okay. So there we go, just like so and like so. Look at how nice that looks. I'm very pleased with that. Now, I am looking, and I gotta tell you, I have a little bit of a problem. And my problem is that my center piece here is now lower than the rest. So we're going to cut a 2-inch piece of this. And we're just going to glue it in place right there. Okay. That way it's all one even straight across. Otherwise, it's going to be all wonkadoodle, and it's not Wonkadoodle Wednesday, so we're not doing wonkadoodle. So just like we did, but that's because we added the reinforcers. If you don't add the reinforcers, here's what you just don't add the center piece. That's a judgment call. You have to decide when you're putting when you are looking at it. Like I can see there's a lip, and lips are only good on your faces for kissing, guys. They are not good in books because it can cause some trouble. But this also gives me a nice fatter, heavier spine to add those 2 signatures back into. which is going to be great. Okay, so there we go, just like so. And make sure that everything is going to close, just like so. We got a nice 2-inch spine. It's not going to have fabric. Oh, well, we can make it have fabric. We could have made it have fabric. We could have closed it over there. There's a little glue ooze down in there, and I just don't want that. Oh, so there was a piece of extra paper in there. Okay, so this is good to go then, you guys. All right, so we're not going to see, but guess what, guys? It's not going to matter. We're going to add such pretty things on here that nobody's going to notice that, oh, she doesn't have that piece covered. So ideally, I should have put it in place and then pulled the fabric over, and I didn't do that. That's my problem. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cut a piece of this it's going to go right out onto the book cover itself, you guys. So you want it to be all the same. In fact, we could do it and wrap it around a second time, but I have to be exact and precise, and it's not going to give us enough room. So never mind. Back that truck up. All right, so here we go. We're going to see, where do we want to cut this at? We're going to go right here. Okay, put that to the side, and then we want this to be precise, exact. None too big, none too small. We want it to fit right down over there, okay? Just like so. And then it becomes part of that spine too. This is where if you have like Tyvek, you could add some Tyvek to this if you want. That helps. Tyvek is like a plasticky substance. There's actually a Tyvek envelope that the post office has. That you could get if somebody mails you something. I do not encourage you to to go and take a free envelope and then turn it into something with your book. All right, so this is going to become part of our spine now, okay? So we're just going to glue it up. We're just going to start in the center, and I'm going to work my way out to the edges just because that's how I want to do it. Okay. I don't see any comments. Oh, you guys, yesterday on Facebook, those comments, that was very disheartening for me because the books, there were bids on the books that got missed because Miss Sonia couldn't see all the comments. And if you missed out on that, I apologize. That was not my intention at all. Okay, so there's our piece glued in place there. Look at how awesome this is looking. I'm going to pull this back, and we're going to put glue here too. So our glue is going on here. This is our reinforcer piece. We do have a little lip here, but that's okay. We're going to make it happen. A little lip is okay. You know, if you stop doing that, Jimmy Lou. Spread that around. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold this over just like so. Then you just want to take like a pen or your bone folder or something, and you just want to find the crack from the fold, and you just want to kind of do this. Just give it a little bit so that your bone folder is going to work better than a pen. And just tuck it in there a real little bit and then press it down. This way it gives that give for the fold, and it doesn't cause you any extra trouble. Okay, press that down. And if you need to add a little extra, you can. We're going to add some trim. We're going to add it on the inside and the outside as well. Just because I want to. I have it and I can. And plus it helps to reinforce it. Okay. just like so. Okay, now when we do the signatures on this one, these signatures will be sewn in place. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now we have that little divot in there, which is good. And our book is going to fold. Now we need to do this side. And oops, there's no glue under there. Hello. Not sure what happened, but when I touched it to straighten it out, there was no glue under it. All right, so there we go. We can trim that up then. Woo, and all gluey. And I'm using a spoon too, you guys. Okay, there we go. Anybody got any questions, or am I doing good? Am I doing good? How am I doing? Am I doing all right? You guys tell me who's done it. If you've done it and I'm not doing it the way you do it, I'd like to hear how you do it. Because, you know, it's just interesting to know how each other do things. Okay. Lose your tool, because that's important. So you're not sure what you're doing. Press that down in there some. And then just get this all pressed out, you guys. That helps it along, believe it or not. It helps to keep it like bending and folding and doing all the things it's supposed to, right? Look at that. Outside of that, over the edge there, it looks good to me. But like I said, we're going to do some stuff to it eventually that'll make it really pretty. I'm doing great. Okay, great, 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 great. Dark blue or green. The black seems harsh. Well, Mickey in the book, okay, so he's got a lot of black on him, so the black is going to enhance. But again, if it's your book, you can do it however you like. If black is too much and you want a blue, I know it looks harsh right now, but quite honestly, wait till you see it on the front cover. You may be like, oh, I see why she chose it now. Just flip this over, and we're going to go right along the edge here and here. But look at when it's on the front, it's a whole lot nicer. That black is. See that? Oh, you know what? I still have a piece of sticker on here. I thought I grabbed it all. There you go. I wiped them off, but that one sticker was being a little stubborn. And I knew if I just let it sit after I washed it, it'd be good. Okay. Hold on, we have a little stringer here that's wanting to do its own thing. And in some cases, that'd be all right. But today, I'm not in the mood for it. All right, here we go. Just add a line of glue here. And this is a really pretty... Yeah, no, that's okay. I love to hear what other people would do. Because you know what? Sometimes you go, oh, maybe that would look good. I do like to hear. Please don't ever, anyone, ever feel just because I say, well, I'm doing it this way because... That, I mean, don't take that as I don't want your opinion, because I really do. I value everyone's opinion because it's really, you know, good opinions to have. I did it this way because I like the black against the Mickey. But I respect the fact that, you know, some people would have said, oh no, green would have looked a whole, and I'm sure there's other people who will feel the same way, that green would have been a better choice here. But I was kind of limited because the green that I did have was very Christmassy, you guys. And I was like, not quite feeling that. So, but again, I'm a blue person too. I love blues. I think blues they look great on so many different things. But I think on this, blue might have been overkill because of all of the, I don't know if I can say that on here. I'm still getting used to the rules over here. Blue would have been a little too much for the cover of this one because there's so much other blue, and the black just sort of makes Mickey kind of pop, in my opinion. And you know, the inside might be a little different when we go to do the, what did I glue down there? Something. Oh, I found my cap. That's good. Now I won't cut my finger. So you guys tell me in the comment section here, What do you think? Are you liking it? Is it something that you're glad I taught? Because I definitely, like teaching you guys stuff. And I would definitely hop over to Facebook and go live and say, look what you guys missed. But the problem is I was in an event today and the event is still happening. But you guys can do exactly what I did with the fabric here. You can do that with paper as well. So it's the same method. It's just you do it with paper or cardstock in place of that. So this is where I'm going to end for today. I do think I want to add like some extra things along here. I definitely am going to be putting a hole for dangles or one of those poles. Where are my poles, by the way? I'm not even sure where they're at. I have those little poles that, you can put in the spine to attach different things on. So I might add something like that on there. This is going to get a lot of pretties on and things like that. So, oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Debbie Moeller. That was very nice of you. All right, you guys, so that's going to be it for today. We'll continue with this on one of the platforms, but I will make a playlist here for the little golden books. Probably what's going to happen is these will now become two separate books that we work on. We'll work on this one and we'll work on this one separately. And I might do, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I have to watch this brand because they get a little testy. But I'm not selling it, so but this will have two signatures that will include the story. So the story has been kept intact, you guys, and it's going to get a signature here and a signature there. And I do have some, look at this, really, isn't this pretty? I'm just itching to use this, but I just don't know where yet. But look how pretty that is. That would have made kind of a pretty, hold on. This might, like when we do the spine, I might do this on opposite sides of the signatures right down the center of the spine and then take these off. Because I really love the pearls in the center of that. And this came from Hobby Lobby, in case anyone's asking. That's where I got this trim from. It's so pretty too. It was a little more expensive than I'm used to paying for a trim, but I had to have it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I love that. I said to Evie, I'm not going to know where I'm going to use it at yet, but I'm going to use it somewhere. Just know that. But again, I might not even use any lace because the story itself, I don't know, I haven't read the story in so long. The story itself doesn't really call for lace, I don't think, because you got three dudes here. Farmers whistled and hummed as they did their chores. Children sang and skipped. Happy Valley was happy every day. Well, we have her, the harp lady, high on a hill. Terrible thing happened to me. Someone stole the golden harp from the castle. The bird stopped singing. Farmer Donald will starve. We don't. Farmer Goofy, Farmer Mickey. Yeah, three guys. We got three guys and a harp. Maybe we need to add some lace, or maybe we need to take it more on like a masculine kind of story. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out, you guys. But I definitely think we need to add a key somewhere in this book because look at that. Yes? Are you here? Are you feeling me? Look at, they got to get her out, right? How are they going to get it unless they pick her lock? Oh my goodness. But this one has my brain really going. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to let you go for tonight. Trying to decide whether I want to do a sale tomorrow or wait until Monday. I'm leaning towards waiting till Monday, but we shall see. You love both the books? Me too. So if I do create a playlist that is the Mickey book and a playlist that is the Noah's Ark book, I will put this video in both playlists just so that way you guys have them for the start of either book. I will say that this is a great teaching tool for any little golden book that I intend to do. So this video could show up on other little golden book playlists where we alter them. That being said, because you may see a different cover than the Mickey or the Noah's Ark, but again, it's such a great teaching video that you can use it on either. So I hope you had fun. I'm going to take a picture and go put it over on Facebook so all of our friends over there can see what they missed out on tonight. So I hope you all have a great day. Have a good Friday. My son gets his cast off on Monday. Yay. I'm happy for that. I'm happy that he's getting his cast off on Monday. But look at, we have this fabric. We can create tassel. Yes, we do. All right, you guys, remember to always be kind because you never know what someone's going through. I appreciate you all. Thank you for stopping by. Sleep well. Unless it's just in the morning. Have a good morning and a good day. You are so welcome, Marilyn. It is great to know how, isn't it? All right, you guys have a good night, and I'll see you all really real soon. Thank you, Liz.